Welcome to our Fife Green Futures video series. If we want to achieve a just transition, we need to make opportunities for everyone to be involved. This means equipping people with the skills, education and retraining required to move into more sustainable practices in jobs across Fife. Balancing environmental goals with social equity and fairness is key to making sure everyone can be included. We need to change the way we work and the jobs that are on offer keep the employability sector in Fife thriving. This film will explore just some of the work being done in the procurement and consumption sectors to make this possible.
Hi, I'm Ian Stirton. I'm a volunteer trustee and treasurer of Kirkcaldy. What we've tried to do is walk the walk. It's a kind of an issue where we're trying to be an environmental charity. We seem to be doing the correct thing. Things that we've done recently are refurbishing bicycles, which have been sent to the tip, believe it or not. We've also, in our cooking classes, in our cooking endeavours, we've tried to reuse food and stop food waste. Our own procurement policies include issues of trying wherever possible to use local suppliers, and therefore money goes around in the circular economy. At the same time, we've also tried to ensure that wherever possible we've reused things. If it's available, we've bought from social enterprises or charities. I was actually involved in reviewing procurement policies. It's more difficult for folk who are used to just buying the cheapest. I think we've tried to encourage folk to buy sustainable items, buy things that are not travelling half the world to get here. And wherever possible, I think it's a message we've tried to give out to all our volunteers and to our staff. One of the issues we've always had is sometimes it's just not available. I think, for example, one of the biggest procurement exercises we had was our refurbishment at East Fergus Place, where we were keen to use local suppliers wherever possible. And we were fortunate to get a local builder in, which meant that for a year, there was a whole lot of employment within the town. That message has been echoed here in the Active Travel Hub, where we've actually been training folk to refurbish bicycles. And they've actually went on to have a green skill, which they've been able to use in their own careers.
I'm Katie, and I'm a community engagement development worker with Kirkcaldy. Part of my role is working on the Climate Action Fife Partnership project. So we work with individuals and communities across Fife to support them to understand about climate change and to make more climate-friendly choices. So one of the areas that we look at is climate-friendly holidays. I also deliver carbon literacy training, and so we look at the climate science, the impacts of climate change on Fife, and also positive changes that we can all make. It's important that we work towards just transition for all, making sure that skills, opportunities and support is available for everyone and no one is left behind. Climate change is already having an impact on the tourism sector, so in my work supporting people to make more climate-friendly holiday choices, we do look at supporting people who are learning to become part of the industry. And we've already seen, for example, individuals are making more climate-aware decisions. They are perhaps interested in taking staycations or local active holidays instead of flying to avoid some emissions through flying. But as well, we're seeing the impacts from climate change directly in, for example, typical European holiday destinations that are facing wildfires and extreme weather events. And this is changing typical holiday habits. And the tourism sector is having to respond to those changing habits and the needs of holidaymakers. There are lots of opportunities for people to develop and use green skills in the tourism sector. For example, businesses are looking to better understand their carbon footprint, making different choices in how they run their businesses. And we're also seeing individuals make different holiday choices. So the tourism sector needs to be ready and prepared for supporting them, whether that's through travel agencies offering different types of holidays or people who are working in marketing, for example. As part of the Climate Action Fife Partnership, we worked with Fife College travel and tourism students to support them on a project looking at climate-friendly holiday choices. Students need to have skills in terms of being prepared for a career in tourism. So we supported students to research the challenges and the opportunities of making more climate-friendly holiday choices. We saw students develop really exciting projects, sharing inspiring stories about what choices people could make to kind of find more climate-friendly holidays and also look at what's already happening in the sector. Employees and volunteers can adapt through basic knowledge of green skills, and there's many ways that they can support the sector in this time of change. For us, for example, we can support with carbon literacy training. So our Fife Climate Know-how training supports people to learn about carbon emissions and about climate science and about climate justice. Individuals can join that course for free, and we've seen people go on to develop changes in their workplace based on the training that they've received. Through my work and my role, I'm learning a lot from the individuals that I hear speak about the different choices they can make and the learning that they have found. For example, the students shared some really inspiring learning. They had been researching ferries and alternative technologies that could make more carbon-friendly travel easier for people. And we also had a really passionate student speaking about local holidays and active hiking and camping in Scotland. I suppose I'm learning the most that people bringing their individual experience and knowledge, as well as their unique perspective, is really what's going to motivate and inspire others, and that's going to help to change the sector for the better.
Okay, I'm Derek Hamilton. I'm a category manager within Fife Council's corporate procurement service. And one of my main areas that I work in is promoting the sustainable procurement activity within Fife Council and how it applies to all our regulated procurements. So at Fife Council, we feel that procurement plays a huge role in supporting a just transition. We build climate action and circular economy, real living wage into all our regulated procurements, and that's supported by the sustainable procurement duty, shaping everything we do within procurement. As procurement becomes more focused on climate action and social value in its wider sense, where both individually and myself have been involved in the promoting sustainable procurement for a number of years, but also there are some great tools available for procuring officers from the Scottish Government. There's Scottish Government Sustainable Procurement Tools, and that includes case studies, e-learning, climate literacy, social value, fair work, and all these tools are mandated, and the e-learning is required by procuring officers in some form to be undertaken to improve those skills. I think we're seeing a clear shift in procurement with regards to a focus on sustainable procurement. With things like the Community Wealth Building Bill now becoming a legislative requirement, we're definitely seeing sustainable procurement being at the heart of procurement decisions. And that mirrors the Scottish Government, which puts sustainable procurement at the core of all procurement.
I'm optimistic that in the future, the green skills will mean that we will have more local skills.
There's huge opportunity in green skills and procurement. We're already seeing demand grow in areas like low carbon construction. So within the procurement environment, the procuring officers need to understand the impact of climate and the sustainable procurement duty.
I'm really optimistic that together as individuals and communities, we can make positive changes to combat climate change and that we can bring everyone together to make a greener, fairer future for all.